Students, today I will discuss about the basics of electrostatics, that is the Coulomb's law. So when we talk about Coulomb's law, the first thing that comes in our mind is the electric charge. And you know, we have all read in class 9 or 10 that electric charge is a scalar quantity. That is, it does not have any direction, it only have a magnitude. So now we will discuss about these charges in rest or stationary condition. That is why I have mentioned the word the electrostatics. What is this statics means? Is that the charges are in stationary or static condition. So we have taken this three-dimensional coordinate system XYZ, and in this three-dimensional space we have considered 6 charges in this space. These charges are in stationary or static condition. So what will be the total charge? The total charge Q will be the scalar or algebraic law of addition. It will follow the algebraic law of addition. So total charge must be Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4 plus Q5 plus Q6. So this total charge follows the ordinary algebraic law of addition. As it is a scalar quantity, it does not follow the vector law of addition. So now this charge Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, this can be positive, this can be negative as well. You know that the charges are 2 types, one is positive and another is negative. So if Q1 is positive, then we consider, you know, the SI unit of charge is Coulomb. C-U-O-L-O-M-B, Coulomb, and which we write in capital C. So we have taken Q1 equals to suppose 1 Coulomb, Q2 equals to minus 1.5 Coulomb, suppose Q3 equals to minus 1.5 Coulomb again, Q4 equals to plus 6 Coulomb, and Q5 equals to minus 2 Coulomb, and Q6 equals to plus 10 Coulomb. So total charge Q must be equals to 1 minus 1.5 minus 1.5 plus 6 minus 2 plus 10. Total charge. So this is 3. So 1 minus plus 6 plus 10 minus 3 plus 2 5. So that is equal to 16, 17 minus 5 Coulomb, that is equal to 12 Coulomb. So we have seen that the total charge Q in this space, the total charge must follow the ordinary scalar law of addition. So now I will discuss about charge quantization, which is our heading also. So what does this quantization mean? This means the charges cannot vary continuously to take any arbitrary value, but it can change discontinuously to take any of the discrete set of values, right? For example, we consider this building. This building has 4 floors: ground floor, first floor, second floor and third floor. So from ground floor upwards, the floor, this building cannot have a floor of the value in between. Can it? Can the value of the floor be 0.5 or 1.5 or 2.5, something like this? No, it cannot. So the floor of the building must follow this quantization rule, either ground floor or first floor or second floor or third floor, something like this. So the floor of the building must follow this quantization rule. Same case is with the charge. The charge is also, charge of a body
whether the body is bigger or smaller, the charge situated in that body must be integral multiple of a small amount of charge. This small amount of charge has the magnitude of E equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This is the so-called electronic charge. This is called the electronic charge. Why? Because you know the electron has a charge of QE equal to minus E, because the charge of an electron is negative and the charge of electron is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Similarly, what is the charge of proton? The charge of proton is plus E, that is equal to plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Similarly, for alpha ray, the charge of alpha ray is plus 2E. So what is the statement of charge quantization? The statement of charge quantization is Q, the charge inside a body, in a body, that is equal to NE, where N equal to 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3. So the any charge can be only integral multiple of the electronic charge. The charge, the value of N may be in positive or negative as well, but it may change, but it must change in the integral multiple order, right? So this is called the charge quantization. To understand this charge quantization in a better way, we have considered two questions here. First question is, what is the statement? Can a charge Q1 equal to 2 microcoulomb exist? So we have taken a charge Q1 which is equal to, which is magnitude 2 microcoulomb, and we know 1 microcoulomb, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. So 2 microcoulomb must be equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. So this Q1 must be integral multiple of the electronic charge. So we have to do this Q1 by E, this must be a integral number. So let's see what we get. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and what we get, 2 by 1.6 into 10 to the power 13, and from here we get 1 by 0.8 into 10 to the power 13, and what here we can, if we take 8 upon 10 into 10 to the power 13, and if we take from 4, and that is equal to 5, so we get 5 into 10 to the power 13 by 4, and from 10 to the power 13, if we take 5 into 10 to the power 11 aside and we take 100 by 4, we get 125 into 10 to the power 11. This is an integral number, so we can call it n. So we can write Q1 equal to n into E, where n is equal to 125 into 10 to the power 11. So this is an integral number. So this charge 2 coulomb, 2 microcoulomb can exist in nature. Now we consider this second problem, where the question is the can a charge q2 equal to 1.95 into 10 to the power minus 17 coulomb exist. So for this problem we consider similarly, we consider q2 equals to 1.95 into 10 to the power minus 17 coulomb. So we will write similarly q2 by E, that is equal to 1.95 into 10 to the power minus 17 by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and from where we get 1.95 by 1.6 into 10 to the power 2, that is equal to 195 by 1.6. This is not an integral number. This is not an integral number. This is not an integer. Integral number or integer. So we cannot write it as n. So it is not an integer. So q2 not equal to ne, where n is must be an integer number. So the charge q2 equal to 1.95 into 10 to the power minus 17 coulomb cannot exist in nature. This is following the charge quantization formula. The laws of electrolysis was discovered by Michael Faraday, and Michael Faraday first suggested this charge quantization phenomena. Later in 1912, during the Millikan-Oeldorff experiment for the measurement of the electronic charge E, this was confirmed that the charge is an integral multiple of the electronic charge, or this charge quantization phenomena was further confirmed during this Millikan-Oeldorff experiment for the measurement of the electronic charge E. Now this charge quantization, can we ignore it? Yes, we can ignore it in case of macroscopic charge, such as if we consider suppose 2.1 coulomb charge. This is a huge charge because the consider to electronic charge 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, 2 coulomb charge is huge. So this number, this must be an integer number according to charge quantization. So we consider it 2.1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power 19. So we can tell that this 10 to the power 19 is a huge number. So in consideration this 2.1 by 1.6, whatever it is, we can consider it as an integer number, right? Whatever it is, we can consider it is an integer number. It can take something 1 point something. I have to calculate it, but it may take 1 point something into 10 to the power, suppose 1.3 into 10 to the power 19. So we can consider this is an integer number, right? So for the case of macroscopic charge, we can ignore this charge quantization, but in case of microscopic charges, where the involvement of charges is either 10 electronic charge or 100 electronic charge, when the microscopic level we cannot ignore this charge quantization, then we have to consider the charge quantization, because in a microscopic level, the example I have given 1.95 into 10 to the power minus 17 coulomb. This is a very small charge. This is a microscopic charge we can consider. So in this case, we cannot ignore the charge quantization. Here we have to consider the charge quantization, but in case of macroscopic charge, we can easily ignore this charge quantization.